Your live interactive coverage with CBS 13 and Fox 23 will begin shortly. Your live interactive coverage with CBS 13 and Fox 23 starts right now.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Owen Kingsley here in our digital studio. This is Weekend Headlines. Thanks for joining us from wherever you are. Unfortunately, tonight we had no 6:30 p.m. newscast. That was because of golf on CBS. We do have our newscast as normally scheduled tonight at 10 on Fox and 11 on CBS. So hopefully we'll see you coming up later tonight where you can see all these stories and Emily's full forecast, which we'll get into in just a few minutes. Well, where we're going to begin with tonight is state lawmakers are responding after, I'm sure as you saw maybe last night, we were reporting a neo-Nazi rally in Augusta yesterday, including at least a couple dozen people. This is the article we have on our website that has the full story. It happened just before 3:30 in the area yesterday of Capitol and State Streets. Maine public safety officials say the demonstration was nonviolent, no damage was caused, and no arrests were made. Maine's Speaker of the House, Rachel Talbot Ross, said in a statement today that is posted to our website. Here, let me give you a quick look. If you scan down, here's our full story, and that's where you can see her statement, which it says, "I cannot say this strongly enough. There needs to be zero tolerance for white nationalist groups' behavior or intimidation. The events that transpired yesterday are an ongoing escalation by a group that is seemingly emboldened, and we must call out their abhorrent beliefs and actions. As Speaker of the House, I will be relentless in driving a campaign against this racist behavior that has no place in Maine." Again, this story on our website. You can check that out right now. Public safety officials do say that there was nothing to indicate that this group of people, or rather who this group of people were. But as you may have noticed earlier this week, we were reporting that other state lawmakers were calling on top law enforcement officials to go after a neo-Nazi who was reportedly trying to create a training ground in Maine. Christopher Polhouse reportedly bought property in Springfield, and he's the leader of the so-called Blood Tribe, which has been tracked by extremist watch groups. Maine Senator Joe Baldacci plans on asking state officials to explore any potential legal options that might apply. Maine's Attorney General Aaron Fry says he won't hesitate to use all means to stop the spread of hateful, un-American views. Well, I'm sure you've probably seen the severe weather that we saw today. We actually have a couple of reported lightning strikes that caused one or more injuries. Let me get that actually up. Hang on one quick second. I can give you a quick look here at what we're actually looking at as far as those lightning strikes. This is a map along the 95 corridor just west of Bangor. Now, we saw that a lot of that severe weather this afternoon. Lightning strikes injured at least one or more people in northern Maine. The National Weather Service confirmed that a lightning strike injured one or more people in the town of Newburgh, just south of Bangor, around 3:30 this afternoon. Fire officials in the area confirm a second strike in Carmel struck the wet ground next to a person who was standing outside. That person did feel a shock, but they were not seriously injured. Well, some very serious weather going around the state. Let's bring in our meteorologist, Emily Santom, who's been following everything that kind of went down this afternoon. Emily, thanks for joining in with us. Some very serious weather, a lot of reports, a lot of pictures, a lot of images coming out of this, and obviously pretty serious when lightning's involved.
Yeah, and we had some great, severe weather, I should say, this afternoon. But overall, moving forward, the severe threat is done. We don't need to be worrying about it. We're actually expecting some dry weather for tomorrow, which is nice compared to what we had today. We had a lot of pop-up severe thunderstorm warnings. You definitely saw me running around this afternoon trying to get it all covered. But we have some good weather on the way. I have the full local storm reports more tonight on Fox 23 at 10. We can go through some individual ones. So this is a time lapse from about 8 o'clock this evening of the storm clouds moving through. They haven't dropped any precipitation in the area. They're just looking like that they're going to be heading on out. So we have a little bit of a wall cloud move through, and then the sun quickly set. So this is our current view right here in Portland. We're looking at the East Prom. I have a full time lapse at the 10, as well as a couple of photos. I have a couple of viewer photos to show too of some hail, some lightning strikes, as well as some cool clouds. So let's take a look at our Doppler and radar right now. Have a little bit of ground clutter. If you don't know what ground clutter is, it's when the radar picks up bugs, seagulls. We have a lot of seagulls, especially here on the coast. More so what they call ground clutter, just anything but precipitation. So we try to not use the Doppler HC radar after the 8 o'clock hours. We'll see some ground clutter, but other than that, this is the rainfall past 24 hours. The real threat of these storms that moved through today were wind. There was wind up to 60 miles per hour. Saw many reports of downed trees. Hail is also a great threat too. There were most of our neck of the woods, we saw a little bit of hail as well in our area. So that's something, not too much of rain. Good thing we aren't seeing rain 4 or 5 inches, or well, we have been seeing. So I only saw one storm report of a road washout, but other than that, pretty good. So temperatures right now, 71 here in Portland, 71 in Wiscasset, mostly seeing 70s, a little bit warmer if you trek towards New Hampshire. We're approaching the 9 o'clock hour in Concord as in the upper 70s. So a little bit muggier today as well. So let's look at tomorrow, a little sneak peek for tomorrow. It's going to be 80 degrees here in Portland. We're looking for some dry and pleasant weather. Most of the state will be seeing upper 70s and low 80s, but this dry stretch is only going to continue for one day, Owen, as we are tracking our next rainy cycle for Tuesday and Wednesday. Hopefully, though, it stays pretty dry. There'll be chance of showers. I have all the details on what happened today. More tonight.
Looking forward to it, Emily. Thanks so much. And as obviously Emily just mentioned, you can check out our full forecast and all those storm reports, which there were plenty of all around the state. Well, officials actually are saying that the severe weather that we saw today caused a 2-car crash on the interstate in Lewiston. Just after 2 o'clock, Maine State Police responded to the crash near mile marker 79 and found one car engulfed in flames. The northbound lanes were shut down for about an hour. Police say the driver of the car that caught fire lost control in the heavy rain and struck another vehicle. There were only minor injuries reported, and the crash remains under investigation. Well, a new state law that is forcing cities across Maine to change their zoning laws, allowing more accessory dwelling units in an effort to combat the state's housing crisis. ADUs, or accessory dwelling units, are those that are extra structures on your property, like a tiny home or an in-law apartment. State legislators hope they will help solve the affordable housing crisis. Some folks in Saco agree, while others are worried more about street traffic and parking issues that they might bring about.
More housing, the more options we have, the better. But I think with that, we need better infrastructure as far as parking and traffic and things of that nature.
You know, we're in the midst of a bit of a housing crisis. This is some way that might offset affordable housing for people, then I think it's worth exploring.
Tonight at 10:11, Anna Kuhn will have details about the decisions that lie ahead for the Saco city officials and how the public has a chance to weigh in later this week. Well, that is all that we have here for our weekend headlines. Thanks again for tuning in. Again, all these stories, Emily's full forecast, all those storm reports, that'll be coming up tonight on just about a little over an hour on Fox 23 at 10 o'clock. So hopefully we will see you then.
You've been watching live interactive coverage from CBS 13 and Fox 23. Make sure to stay connected with CBS 13 and Fox 23 on air, online, and through these social channels.